Greetings, my beautiful family. Welcome back to Earth's Medicine, where we explore the healing power of plants growing in our gardens, along roadsides, and deep in nature from Jamaica and around the world. If you're new to the channel, my name is Monique, and I'm a 51-year-old plant enthusiast from Jamaica. So today we're talking about a beautiful and useful plant you may have seen without knowing its true value. Canna lily. It's not just an ornamental plant, it has a rich history of use in traditional medicine across many cultures. It also has a rich history of culinary and skincare uses. Let's explore its origins, where it grows, what it looks like, how it can support your health and wellness, its culinary uses, how to use it to promote radiant and healthy skin, and some precautions to consider before using it. Canna lily is the common name for a fast-growing tropical plant in the Cannaceae family. Scientifically, it is known as Canna indica. Because of its stunning flowers and attractive leaves, it is well known as a garden ornamental, but it also has a rich history of culinary, medicinal, and other uses. Some of its other common names in English includes African arrowroot, canna, Indian canna, purple arrowroot, Indian shot, and edible canna, among other common names also in English and other languages. Despite the name canna lily, it's not a true lily. It belongs to the order Zingiberales, to which banana, ginger, and arrowroot also belong, so they're pretty much all close relatives. Canna lily is home to most of South America, Central America, Jamaica, other parts of the Caribbean, and Mexico, but it was naturalized in the southeastern parts of the United States, so that would be Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and South Carolina, as well as most of Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. Indigenous people of the Americas have grown this plant as a major food crop for thousands of years. You'll often find it growing near water sources like rivers and ditches. It grows well in moist soil and loves sunlight, which makes it thrive in warm climates like here in Jamaica. It is considered invasive in several countries because its dense, thicket-like growth can overwhelm native plants, and its rhizomes, which are the underground stems, are difficult to remove once established. Canna lily can grow up to 8 feet tall, depending on the variety. Its leaves can be green, brown, maroon, or variegated, but mostly green. They're also large, smooth, and oval shaped, and they resemble banana plant leaves. The flowers are vibrant and varied with a tropical look that makes them look popular in landscaping. They usually come in the red, orange, and yellow range. Hybrids are usually multicolored. This plant tends to attract pollinators like hummingbirds and butterflies, which promotes biodiversity in gardens. Its rhizome is starchy and thick, and that's the part most often used for food and medicine. Yes, parts of canna lily are edible. Its rhizomes are one of the richest sources of starch on the planet and can be boiled, roasted, or ground into flour, much like cassava. The young flowers and the seeds are edible as well, but they have a slight bitter flavor. The shoots and leaves are sometimes used as leafy vegetables in some cultures, and in places like Peru and India, canna lily starch is used to make noodles and porridge. Canna lily is rich in starch, carbohydrates, and antioxidants, which support energy production and overall health. Valued for its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties, it promotes faster healing of wounds and soothes skin irritations. Its bioactive compounds help to boost the immune system, making the plant a natural aid in fighting infections. Canna lily possesses natural moisturizing and soothing qualities, making it useful for promoting a radiant and healthy skin. Canna lily has traditional medicinal uses passed down through generations, in numerous cultures. All parts of the plant are used to make medicine. Here are some of the known and reported uses. A decoction of the rhizome is used to treat jaundice. Rhizomes are applied externally to reduce swelling and to treat minor skin irritations. A decoction made from fresh rhizomes is traditionally used to treat fever, dropsy, and digestive issues such as dyspepsia. In the Philippines, this rhizome decoction is valued both as a fever remedy and a natural diuretic. Macerated rhizomes are applied to stop nosebleeds, while in Thailand, rhizomes are used in combination with other herbs as part of traditional cancer treatments. In Costa Rica, an infusion of the rhizome is applied to soothe irritated skin. In Gabon, rhizomes are prepared in enemas to help expel intestinal worms and treat dysentery. In the Congo, women with irregular menstruation drink a decoction as part of traditional reproductive health care. The plant's high fiber and starch content help with the gentle cleansing of the digestive tract. Additionally, canna lily extracts are traditionally used to relieve joint pain and reduce muscle inflammation. Starch from the root is gentle on the stomach and used to soothe digestive issues. A root decoction combined with fermented rice is used to treat gonorrhea and amenorrhea. In Nigeria, powdered root is taken to relieve diarrhea and dysentery. In India, the root is valued for its stimulant properties and is also used to induce sweating, reduce fever, soothe inflamed or injured skin, and treat dropsy. Extracts from the plant are applied topically for various skin conditions, including rashes and eczema. A decoction from the root is consumed, or the plant's leaves are used to increase urination and flush out toxins. Additionally, the plant is known to have properties that can kill snails and slugs. The bark decoction is used to treat wounds and fish poisoning. The leaf base is used for boils and syphilis. Leaf poultices are used for cuts, bruises, and insect bites. Crushed leaves are applied externally to reduce swelling and to treat minor skin irritations. In Costa Rica, a leaf infusion is used as a natural diuretic. In southwest Nigeria, the leaves are traditionally used in the treatment of malaria. In some traditional medicine systems, dried leaves are brewed into a tea to help relieve symptoms of colds and flu. A leaf decoction is given to mothers after childbirth for a headache. Leaves that are freshly squeezed are used externally in baths as a remedy for rheumatic pains and arthritis and are used topically on ulcers. The seeds are used to promote wound healing. Powdered seeds are used to treat skin issues. The seeds are mixed with water to make a poultice, which is placed on the forehead for headaches. Grounded seeds are used to prevent and treat infections and as a remedy for itching, persistent sores, and bush yaws. A flower decoction is used to stop wounds from bleeding. The flowers are useful for the treatment of malaria and eye ailments. The flower is reported to have antibacterial, antioxidant, and antifungal properties. The sap is useful for regulating bowel movements and healing sores. The plant's juice is used to treat inflammation. A paste of the whole plant is used to treat tonsillitis in Bangladesh. The plant is used externally in baths to treat a fever. The parts of the plant that grow above the ground show properties that can protect the liver from damage and antioxidant activity. There are a few ways people traditionally consume canna lily. The root is eaten raw sometimes, or boiled or roasted like yam or sweet potato. It is also peeled, dried, and ground into flour for baking or porridge. Tubers that are very young are cooked and eaten. They are sweet but fibrous. Young shoots are cooked and consumed as a vegetable, or they are added to salads. Grounded young seeds are added to tortillas. The tubers are powdered and used to thicken sauces and enhance the texture of some foods. The starch is used to make noodles in Vietnam. I'm now going to share the Canna Lily Beauty Blend, which is basically a recipe for a face mask using Canna Lily as the main ingredient. This beauty blend will deeply hydrate the skin, soothe inflammation, and enhance your natural glow. Blending it with other ingredients creates a powerful all-in-one treatment for healthy, radiant skin. So for the ingredients, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of fresh Canna Lily rhizome paste, and this is going to be finely blended. You're also going to need 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of aloe vera gel, and 2 drops of lavender essential oil. So for the method now, you're going to thoroughly wash and peel the Canna Lily rhizome, then blend it into a smooth paste. In a small bowl, you're going to combine the rhizome paste with honey and aloe vera gel. Then you're going to add the lavender essential oil and mix it well for a soothing aromatic touch. Then you're going to gently apply the mixture to your face, avoiding the eye area. Let it sit for about 15 minutes. Then you're going to rinse off with warm water and finish with your favorite moisturizer for soft, refreshed skin. Although Canna Lily is generally considered safe, here are a few things to keep in mind. The sap may cause skin irritation for some people. The raw rhizome can be tough to digest. It's best to cook the rhizomes thoroughly before consumption, as it may lead to digestive issues if it's not cooked properly. Since the plant often grows near roadsides or drains, make sure your source is clean and chemical-free. To avoid adverse reactions, always consult a healthcare professional before using it medicinally, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, taking prescribed drugs, or you have an underlying health issue. Canna Lily is a perfect example of how beauty and healing can live in the same plant. It's growing all around us, in gardens, in the wild, offering food, medicine, and even just a little joy with its vibrant flowers. Have you ever used Canna Lily for food or health? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Earth's Medicine, share this video, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another journey into the world of herbal healing. Thanks for watching, and remember, the earth provides.